And here we are at the Daytona 500. Getting ready to start our tour. There's other tour just leaving. And here are happy people. All right.
They have the attendance for about 102,000 seats. To my left is pit road. We'll be going down pit road a little later on. Now we're coming up to the tri-oval, or the center portion of the speedway. Now the very center of the tri-oval is the area where the start and finish line is. Now if you ever saw the race before on television or in the movies, you may have been led to believe the start-finish line is our flag stand, and the flag man currently stands 22 feet above the racing surface. Now incidentally, the start-finish line is the very first stop on the tour. Now once the tram does come to complete stop, if you wish, you can exit to the right.
You got it? I wasn't looking.
You actually see a pair of seats. Those seats are where the official NASCAR spotters would be seated during race day. There's actually one of those Sunoco signs at each entrance and exit of the turns going around the track. Now over to your right, this is turns 1 and 2, which begins the high banking here at Daytona. Now they're actually banked at 31 degrees. The track from the bottom of the WL lines are to the very top of the white retaining wall. That is a distance of 44 feet. This is slightly over 4 stories tall. Also from the bottom of the WL lines up to about 2/3 of the track where those broken white lines are. That is a distance of only 30 feet. On race day, cars are coming through there 3 wide, nose to tail, side by side, at speeds of well over 200 miles an hour. Sometimes they actually come through there 4 wide, and sometimes they actually make it. Hello folks, we're going to speed it up and we'll take a ride up those high banks. Riders would be seated. Now turn number 2 exits on to the super stretch straightaway, which actually stretches for a distance of just over 3,000 feet. Now although the straightaway itself appears to be flat, it actually is. It's actually banked at 3 degrees, and that 3 degrees of banking is for drainage purposes. Now prior to the July of 2010, this whole area to my left used to be a large grassy area. But during the repaving project, as you can see, they removed all the old grass and put down this asphalt skid pad. Now the reason why the skid pad was put down, for instance, if a car was to come off the exit of turn number 2 and for some reason either get bumped in the bank or lose control and come sliding across the old grassy surface, then more likely he's going to wind up getting into the wall. However, since we took the grass away and put down this asphalt skid pad, if a car was to lose control coming off the exit of turn 2 and come sliding across the new asphalt surface, the friction from the tires and the asphalt itself would actually slow the race car down. Hopefully it would slow the car down enough where the driver was able to regain control and thus avoiding getting into the wall. About 200 gallons of jet fuel caught on fire. It actually did some damage to the top 2 layers of the speedway itself. Now when the incident occurred, it's coming up on my right hand side. Coming up, you're going to see a darker portion of the speedway which appears to look like a dark strip. That's the area where the incident had occurred. But as you'll see in just a few moments, that the area's been repaired, and we had a few races since then with no problems whatsoever. Now once again, this is the high banks here at Daytona. This is turns 3 and 4. And as you can see, they're exactly the same as turns 1 and 2. They're also banked at 31 degrees, and the width of the track is 44 feet. Now the length of the turns from the entrance to the exit is actually a distance of 2,600 feet. Now the speedway is so large it actually sits on 480 acres. 180 of those acres is right in between the high banks here at Daytona. Now if you were to stand at the very center of turns 3 and 4, look all the way to my left across the infill grassy area to the very center of turns 1 and 2, you'll be looking across a distance of approximately 1 mile across, just to give you an idea exactly how expansive this facility is. Now the whole area to our left, on the other side of the chain link fence, is all camping areas for RVs, mobile homes, and even tents in this particular area. See a flagpole with a U.S. flag on it. Just about where that flagpole is where the actual incident had occurred. However, because of the family and the speedway, there's no type of markers or plaques set up in that area. However, I like to inform every one of my tours because I always usually have a bunch of senior fans for it. Also, once again, we're coming up to the exit of turn number 4. And again, to your right, there's another one of those Sunoco signs where the official spotters will be seated. Also coming up on your right is the beginning of the front stretch grandstands. Now you'll notice the lower seats of the front stretch grandstands are actually painted all different colors. Now the reason that is done is actually done for television. Believe it or not, it's an old trick of the trade, so to speak. On race day, when the television cameras are panning across the grandstands, it gives the appearance, at least on television, that the grandstands are actually full. Although here at Daytona, that's not really a problem. Coming up on your left, you see one of the Goodyear tire garages and one of the Sunoco fueling stations. This starts beginning of the garage area, and there's one of those tire garages and fueling stations on each end of the pit road garage area themselves. Also to your left, you see a whole bunch of yellow and white garages, all spring cup car garages, the open one or the overflow type. Continue looking to your left, you see a set of steel stone that is actually 1,600 feet long from the entrance to the exit. And during the repaving project of 2010, pit road itself was actually widened by a distance of 10 feet. Also to your left, you see the light-colored area or the concrete areas. 30 actual pit stalls or pit boxes. There's actually a total of 44 of those on pit road. And those two were also widened by a distance of 2 feet. Coming up to your left, you see a large black glass building, which is the Daytona 500 Club. At the base of the 500 Club is Victory Lane, which is the very next stop on the tour. Now we're going to pull up the entrance to the Victory Lane, and once we do come to a complete stop, I would like everybody to exit from the driver's side of the tram, and I'll lead everyone into Victory Lane, and once it's
guys, one guy by the name of Alexander Witten, another guy by the name of Ransom Eli Olds. Now Ransom Olds, you're probably familiar with his last name, because later on he actually built a car called the Oldsmobile. Now even way back in